Good evening and welcome to Forsyth Bar Stadium for this clash between the Cairns Firehawks and the home team, the South Island Stingrays. I'm your host and commentary, Luke Short, and in the box with me is the one and only AMAC.
Yeah. Good night. Good night. Hello tonight, Luke Short. I am super psyched to be here. Both of these teams, they've got a special place in my heart. The Firehawks, I was one of the first Firehawks back in Season 3 Mines, and before I was drafted up to the SRL, the Stingrays, I was one of the mentors for the Stingrays many seasons back. So I don't know who I want to win tonight because I love both of these teams.
Yeah, this could be an exciting clash. On the sideline, we have the one and only Josh Pratlove. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good night to you two fellas as well. But no, look, I'm really excited to be here. Game 2 for the South Island Stingrays, and it's at their home. It's in their backyard. Big turnout. I'm keen to see how we go as we get underway already.
Yeah, as we see Anderson take the first run off the kickoff. Ty goes to Goodwin. Goodwin goes out to Magic. Magic tries to step, but he gets taken in a two-man tackle. Ty goes out to Man. Man comes back into Diab. Diab drives forward, but still gets brought down. Ty comes out to Remy. Remy takes a run. He gets through the little gap, but the defender gets him. Ty comes out to Godwin. Godwin comes to Williams. William takes a tackle, but he gets brought down. So, not a bad start to the Stingrays on this one, AMAC?
No, it's a good... Ooh. Well, except for that kick, it was a great start for the Stingrays there. It was a good start for the Firehawks as well. They've got one hell of a challenge tonight, keeping Kodar Diab under wraps, and so far their defence is holding up there, Luke.
Yes, we were just praising on the good start, good first set, but that kick's let them down there, and the Firehawks have got a great opportunity to score early here and put some pressure on the Stingrays. I believe Pretlove has some scores from last week, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up my notepad. Lots of changes over the weekend. Obviously, bringing in the new South Island team, it made us do some recalculating. But yeah, off the back of last week, we had Cairns Firehawks. They were extremely unlucky going down to the Wolves, 22 points to 6 in their opening round. We had Bathurst steaming ahead at home, 22 points to 19. And then yesterday, so Thursday night football, a bit of a different way we did it this year. Round 1, extended round 1, was Melbourne Ravens versus the South Island Stingrays. So the two expansion teams, I believe in commentary I dubbed it the expansion vault, was 30 points to 14 with the Stingrays getting off to a flying start. So that's kind of how we shaped up over the weekend. But earlier today, just a couple of kilometres up the road at FMG Stadium Waikato, we had the Wolves go down to the Lions 32 points to 12. So some big action already in the mines for round 2. Hoping to see a bit more of a closer game from these teams. But like you mentioned, Luke, Kodar Diab is going to be that man you got to shut down.
Yeah, he's going to be he's a big intake for this player. Your former SRL player has been brought into the mines, hoping to probably get back into the SRL, but he'll have to do his time here in the mines. As we see Lopez go for a good run here. So the Firehawks, they're on their attack here. They're out to Heels. Heels comes down to Coward. Coward steps and gets off one, but can't beat the fullback and gets brought down just shy of the try line. Coward goes out to Hodges. Hodges goes to Lopez. Lopez is going to try and drive forward, but he's just going to get turned on his back. So really good set there, wouldn't you say, mate?
Yeah, definitely. Particularly that goal line defense there from the Stingrays. We've seen it from a couple of games, really, that it takes a while for these teams to work into their attack. The first 8 to 10 minutes tends to be a bit of an arm wrestle, but now that we're getting to this point where they're starting to get a little bit winded, this is when the playmakers will be working the ball, or in that case, an error pops up and their attack is back on.
Yeah, that's correct. It's just the format of the mines, unfortunately, it doesn't really give you a strong advantage of team structure and stuff. The teams are always changing. As where Whitaker takes a run and he almost gets to the try line there. So Hoji comes out to Lopez. Lopez is going to drive forward, and no one's going to help the Stingrays defender there, so he's going to drive forward. But referee Luke Short is going to send it to the box. What do you think of that one, Mac?
Well, Jimmy Lopez is a 2-season veteran of the Mines here. He definitely has the skills there in that number 6 jersey, and obviously the strength there to push over and score. So that's an excellent first try there for tonight for the Firehawks.
Yeah, I don't think they'd agree with you on that one down on the sideline. Hey, Pretlove? We might have some communication errors with our sideline man.
Hello, yes. Seems like the Stingrays, their disapproval of that first has caused some issues with the commentary box, with the connection here. But no, very quiet crowd is so far, and rightly so. Cairns have come out firing, as we can see. Godwin now still sporting his Firehawks branded headgear. I've got a feeling the headgear maker has got some work to do over the weekend.
We may need to check his sports bet account if the Firehawks win this one. So you're saying that maybe the Stingrays may have cut your connection down there?
Yeah. If I'm led to be correct here from a co-commentator of ours, John Boimava, it's something I could be expecting down in the South Island.
That's a second.
Well, I feel like we might be safe up here in the commentary box. You probably not so much. As we see, Harrison Coward makes a line break, and he's going to step 2 defenders there and go for this. And he's going to go over for the try here. So, quick succession. Firehawks are going back to back here.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Firehawks would have wanted tonight, Luke. They didn't score too many points in their last game, and already they've scored twice as much points. They must have had some hellish training over the week to make sure they could get out here and do this against the Stingrays. The Stingrays out there, they look a little bit shell-shocked, unfortunately.
Yeah, we do understand that they did have to play a quick make-up game from round 1, so maybe it might have been a short day turnaround and they just haven't clicked just yet, but we'll say the game is still young. And if that first try was anything to go by, Pretlove's probably been murdered down on the sideline now.
Not quite. Not quite. Seems like the South Island fans are being very patient. They're just waiting for their team to kind of click into gear, which, if anything's to go off from Thursday night's performance, they will click into gear eventually.
Yeah, it's only early days. The Firehawks, they come to us very, very fast start, but it doesn't mean that, the fire might die out. As we see Jay McBob take that one, he comes out to Strat. Strat tries to find the gap there, but that gap closes really quickly. Kahoji comes out to Munro. Munro goes to Coward. Coward makes a step again. He's going to go for a good jog up the field, but gets taken. Can't beat the fullback that time. Butterfield comes out to Ann. Ann takes tackle. He's going to drive over the 40. So 4th tackle. Hoji comes out to Munro. Munro goes out to Lopez. Lopez is just going to take a run now. Maybe an inside, coming back on the inside or something might have been the way to go, but I'll go for the kick here. And they're just going to punt it downfield to Mike Tyson on the wing. An interesting player's name for a footballer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, as long as he's not going to throw any punches out there, the Stingrays, they might have a bit of brutality in them, but rules are rules, and those refs are kind of brutal themselves when they come to breaking them.
Yeah, a couple of the Firehawks players wearing headgear might have been in expecting this from Tyson, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. As we see, Magic takes a step there. He can't get past his defender, though. Tyre comes out to Man. Man takes a run. He does find a hole, but the defender still gets him. So last tackle, the Stingrays are going to put a kick in here. It's going to be a very good kick, but it's going to go straight down to the wing of Buckley, and Buckley's just going to get... Well, Buckley gets Buckley's chance because he gets nowhere. What do you think of that set?
Yeah, well, the Stingrays, they haven't had too many opportunities with the back-to-back scoring of the Firehawks, but what we have seen so far of them, they're starting to work back into this arm wrestle, and a lot of their playmakers are starting to chance their hand with the 20 minutes to the halfway to the halfway, about to come up. It's starting to turn into a real arm wrestle out there, Luke.
Yeah, as we see, Strat makes a good line break there, but yeah, can't get past the defenders. So fifth tackle option, they're going to be about 40 out. So probably not really the best position for an attacking kick, but they will kick it anyway. Again, to Tyson. Tyson takes a run, but gets taken in.
Let him go. Let him go.
You wonder how many runs until he might get a bit aggressive. Anderson takes them.
He's held there.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, it's one of these things with the Young's Minds players who are really starting to learn their craft. It takes a bit of time to work into some of those skills that you can see, and already with some of these boys, you can see them starting to have those real first insights into what it makes what it takes to make it a long way in this Minds competition.
Yeah, so yeah, this is a good breeding ground for every player to learn their craft, and this is what the Nines is all about. As we see, Winchester get that. He's on the wing this week. An interesting choice. Comes out to Hoji. Hoji gets an offload to McBob, but McBob's just going to get taken. He's going to make a good couple of post-contact meters, though. Comes out to Digby Johnson. Johnson bumps off one, but gets taken by another defender. Hoji comes out to Ann gets a hole, finds a hole, and goes for a run. Gets up to about halfway before he gets taken down. Hoji comes out to Lopez. Lopez is actually going to pass. So he goes to Hills. Hills is going to step one. He's going to try and beat the fullback there, and he does, but he's brought down. So the Firehawks, they've got a really good opportunity to put a bomb kick up here, and they've got the kick chase there, but they don't compete for it, and they can't push Magic back into the end. But doesn't matter anyway, because the Firehawks are going to get the ball back with that error. Not what they wanted there, eh, Mac?
No, especially now that the Firehawks, it looks like they might have just gone over there, Luke.
Yeah, so we see Whitaker there, the second rower, driving two defenders, and he gets that ball down.
And that's just the danger of one real good hit up under the ball there, dislodging that straight across. Firehawks, unfortunately, coughing the ball up. Sorry, not the Firehawks, the Stingrays, unfortunately coughing the ball up, and the Firehawks pouncing almost instantly. This is almost a godly start here for the Firehawks tonight.
Yeah, and Mines games are a bit hard to try and chase down points if you can't score them. So if the Stingrays are going to need to start doing something soon. What did they think of that one on the sidelines, Brett Love?
Yeah, look, not a very happy crowd here, and rightfully so. Your home team not travelling so well. It's really surprising, especially when you look at this point in Thursday night's match, and the Stingrays were up by 18 points, pretty well at the 25-minute mark as well. So really a polar opposite to get this game started. I'm not too sure, but yeah, this crowd is not happy.
No, rightfully so. It's the first home game of the Stingrays, and they're not really showing the crowd any love with the scoreboard. As we see Whitaker, the try scorer, take a good run there. He comes out to Hoji. Hoji comes out to Lopez. Lopez is going to give it to Munro Jones. An interesting name choice again. He did explain it, but I don't think anyone listens, to be honest. Hoji comes out the Strat. The Strat goes to the Big Bob.
He's held there. 4. Hold the 10.
Comes to Ann Conan and gets the Coward on the inside ball. He steps one, but he gets taken. So good set after points. They'll be able to put an attacking sort of kick in, but no, it's going to come straight into Hugh Mann there, and he's going to just collect it straight away. I was just saying that AMAC that it was a good attacking set, but yeah, they've just coughed it straight back up.
Well, and this is something that the Mines boys are going to have to get used to, because us commentators, for some reason, we keep cursing everyone. So a lot of Mines boys, they love it when we commentate them and talk about what they're doing on the field, until they start realizing that when we start talking about your player out there, we doom them to some sort of mistake. So be careful what you wish for out there, guys.
Get back. Look at me.
Yeah, the good old commentator's curse. Sometimes us talking about you isn't the best.
Let him up. 5. Hold.
So the Stingrays get their first strong opportunity here. They're going to be able to put an attacking kick in, but they've just fumbled that.
Held.
Anderson's collected it, and he's made some good meters. It gets close to the try line, but it gets brought down. So, yeah, as we were just saying, they had a good attacking opportunity, and we may have cursed them again.
1. Release.
And with about 10 minutes left in this half, you would think that they've really probably only got 1 or 2 more tries to get over the goal line to make sure they've got some points in their own ledger tonight, Luke. Oh,
yeah, that is correct. As we've just seen that, and Brev has made his step. He's going to go. I don't know if maybe turning back in was the choice there, but he is going to drive forward, but he's going to get turned. So maybe, I don't know if coming back on the inside was the best choice there.
No, he might have just, if they don't get across him now. Oh, there we go.
And we see Mike Tyson go over to score here. So, most people call him Iron Mike or Big Mikey, but we don't know what to call him in the SRL yet, but he scores that try there.
Mr. Tyson.
Mr. Tyson? We'll see Godwin line this up, and we were mentioning before about checking his sports beta account if the Firehawks won this. I'm going to say if he shanks his kick, we might have to check it sooner than later.
Oh, beautiful kick.
He's nailed that, so might have to take some suspicions off him. But they would have loved that one on the sideline, Pret Love.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brought some life back into this crowd, and we always know how good a New Zealand crowd goes, especially when their team starts to show some good signs. But we'll quickly just touch on Godwin for a second there. You mentioned him a couple of times up in the box there. Interesting circumstances, pretty similar circumstances to one junior tire as well. They actually requested to make the move across from their respective teams. James Godwin, he actually hails from the South Island, and as soon as he heard about this opportunity to represent his hometown, he decided to just jump straight on it. It's a bit of Mine's law, if you will, for you fellas up there.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. Sometimes a team that comes up, you just got to play for them. My team, myself, for example, is Parramatta. It's one of my teams that I hold dearly, as all people would know. So I agree. It's good to see the pride in the home there. As we see, this one go into touch. So the try scorer, Mike Tyson, doesn't get it right there. I think he tried to Jared Hayne that line, but he didn't step right.
What's really interesting there is he's on the absolute other touch line from the one that he scored in the previous set. So I don't know what he's doing running all around there, but interesting option there for Mike Tyson.
So yeah, Carrison. I'm trying to pronounce his name as both his first and last name at the same time, and he will get a line break here with a beautiful offload from Coward there. Goes to Butterfield, goes to Johns, comes out to Strat goes to Digby Johnson. Digby Johnson's going to fem one, and he's going to score straight onto the sticks there. So
and that was absolutely beautiful, because for all money, I thought that was going to be an interception there from the Stingrays, but he grabbed it, palmed one off, and under he went.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to be straight up an intercept. The number 8 there. But Digby Johnson, he's too strong. He scores there. And the Firehawks get those 6 points. The Stingrays just scored on them back. And that one's straight over the black dot. It was Winchester. Not long now until halftime. As some people, if you're new to the mines, the games are a tiny bit shorter than the SRL, so you don't have as much time to come back when you're down. So the Stingrays, they're going to have to do something quick here to get some points on the board. Wouldn't you say, Mac?
Yeah, and unfortunately, they've been finding it really difficult so far to get it to their strike players, because they've been playing so much defence. When they do finally get the ball, those blokes who have been trying to get over, well, they just find themselves exhausted. So coming back into the second half, we'll see if the Stingrays captains have any conversations with their boys to see what they can do.
He's held there. 3 back with me.
Yeah, the second half is going to have to be a big one from them if they want to come back in this game and give this home crowd something to cheer about.
Let him go. 4.
As we see Hoji they're going to go for an early 40-20 kick here. Lopez, he's got the distance, but he doesn't have the angle. He's probably got too much of a distance. No, it sits up perfectly. But Magic, he's going to get the return. So good kick, not good kick chase.
No, but that was really well gathered by Magic. The amount of SRL fullbacks I've seen pick that ball up and run straight over the back line there. A really good heads-up football there from Magic.
He's held there. Of him now. 3 back with me.
As we see Ty, he goes to Gamer. Gamer comes out to Woodhead. And that will bring us to half-time here at Forsyth Bar Stadium. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, NRL Hotel. How can I help?
Yeah, g'day. I'd like to organise an early checkout, please.
How does the 60-minute mark of the grand final sound?
Perfect.
But I booked a final spot in round 10.
So it looks like that was cancelled in round 13. So if you could just move aside, though, we've got some genuine top 8 teams about to check in. There you go.
What?
All the best.
Really?
Penthouse.
Oh, you have got to be joking. Going up the was?
Nah, down.
Yo!
So we've had some complaints. Is there any chance you can wrap this party up soon?
Yeah, sure. Just give us another couple of seasons, all right?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Is that all you're going to do to stop them?
Better than you managed.
Yes, rooms. Yeah, send up another 5 utility players, please.
Right away, sir. And shall I send up some more Panthers?
Ooh, sounds delish.
Any baggage, sir?
Yeah, heaps. Try 38 years worth.
Jeez Louise.
Can I help you?
Yeah, actually, got any wins against top 8 teams in here somewhere?
No, just have towels.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Welcome back to the second half of this matchup between the Firehawks and the Stingrays. It's been an explosive first 40 minutes from the Firehawks. They're leading the Stingrays at 24-6. Not good for the home crowd that is here to support the Stingrays, would you say, Mac?
No, it's not what they would have wanted to see down here at Dunedin. They really love their footy down here and they really want to see their team do well. It's just unfortunate that the footy gods have other plans in mind tonight. The Firehawks, they have been on fire for the last 40 minutes, and if the Stingrays want to get anything over them, they need to start moving the ball around and stopping some of those errors, Luke.
Yeah, the Firehawks have definitely been on fire here, but you know, the fire can die if the Stingrays can get some early points in this first half. We did have something from the captains at half time. Would you go through that with us, Brett Love, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, the crowd was just a little bit loud when I first went to come in there. The crowd's kind of on fire at the moment. They're really happy with how they've come out. But I did get the pleasure of standing outside of the sheds. I did get to hear a little bit there. Luca Magic and the South Island Stingrays, it was very positive. You kind of expect like a bit of a negative halftime speech or a bit of a dressing down, if you like Craig Bellamy or anything like that. But no, it was all very positive. Going back to basics, and it's looking really good so far. This first set's been pretty good from them there. As Coda gets the kick out from the Firehawks, typical you're up by 20 points kind of speech there from Bailey Munro-Johns and Travis Whitaker, the co-captains. Yeah, not a lot from the Firehawks. They just want to continue doing what they're doing. South Island, though, they're really keen to get the ball, get it moving, and get some completions.
Yeah, as we saw that, the Stingrays were very strong defensively, but they've just let the Firehawks off with that run. So now the Firehawks, they're still in their own half, so the Stingrays can still salvage this. It's the fourth tackle, so we probably expect a kick from here, an early kick, as Lopez has gone for it, but it's only sort of gone sideways. So we've got the Stingrays on the attack now, and that's not exactly what the Firehawks want, but we've got cover defense, but he's going to score. So first points go to the Stingray in the second half as AMAC blows the whistle.
Yeah, you could see the Firehawks cover defense there almost getting over, and occasionally they can find themselves knocking the ball out and saving those tries. But Surveyor there, he is able to hold on to it, and they are back in it. There is fire here in Dunedin.
You're correct. There is fire in the stadium, and it's possible it may not necessarily be coming from the Firehawks at this point. As we see Godwin line up this kick. Now's that one straight over the black dot to Wheels. So this is now the Firehawks leading the Stingrays 24-12. But as most teams would see it, it's a 0-all scoreline coming back into the second half, and now the Stingrays are 6-0.
And this will be something that the Stingrays will be really happy with. 24-6, that 3-try deficit can be quite a mental barrier, but it's only 2 tries now. 2 tries and you tie it, 3 tries and you win it. So the Stingrays, they definitely look like they're back in it now.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they're starting to get this to click, and their attacks coming out like a barb in the chest.
That's your second.
As we come out to Williams, Williams will take the tackle.
3, back with me.
Tyre comes out to Goodwin. Goodwin comes out to Magic. Magic takes the tackle there.
He's held there. Clear him now.
Q-Man's going to make an early kick here, but it's going to be a good one. No, it looks like maybe. It looked like it might have bounced on the line and come back in. I thought that was out on the full there.
I have never seen that, and I've been around in the mines for in the mines and the SRL for about 6 seasons. That's the first time I've ever seen it bounce and then bounce back in field. So there's some magic here, and unfortunately, it did not help the Stingrays just then.
I mean, in a way, it might have. It looked like it was out on the full, so it might have just been saved them giving the Firehawks possession up on in their attacking zone. As we said, the Firehawks on their last now, and they've only just got over their 40, so a good, strong defensive set from the Stingrays. Lopez puts the kick down to Brev. Brev will try to get past his defenders, but gets taken in a 2-man tackle. Goes to Woodhead. Woodhead comes out to Diab. Diab goes to Remy. I think maybe Diab needs to run first with these plays. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, the Stingrays seem to be trying to spread it around to all of their players, and whilst that's admirable and getting all your players the ball and giving them the chance to really shine there, this is the point in the game where you really need to get it to your strike players, especially when you're 12 points down, possibly looking at a defeat here at home in front of your home crowd.
Yeah, as we see that one come down to Winchester. Winchester's going to step one, but he is going to get taken. And it comes out to Lopez. Lopez comes out to Whitaker. Whitaker's going to get taken in a 2-man tackle, but he's going to get some post-contact meters. Hoji comes out to Lopez. Lopez goes to Monroe Johns. Johns comes out to Coward. Coward's going to make a line break. He's going to get past. Looked like he was going to get past the defender, but the defender's got him. But comes back to Johns, and Johns is going to get a couple more meters. And comes to Buckley. Buckley makes a line break and then passes the ball back. And now that's caused an error and given the Stingrays the ball.
Yeah, and for some reason the Firehawks are throwing the ball around like they're behind on the scoreboard. Whether or not that's just them playing some park footy because they think they're so far in front, or whether it's just them making an error or two here, they're really inviting the Stingrays back into the game.
Yeah, being a young team in the mines, they might have thought maybe they've got letting in that early try. They're a bit on panic stations at the moment. They just need to calm it down. They're still leading by 2 tries. They don't need to be giving the possession over and giving the Stingrays a chance. See, Ty will come through the man for a kick. Man's going to go to the wing of Buckley. Buckley can't get past his defender.
Hill. Clear him. 1. Release.
Comes out to Butterfield, comes out to Monroe. Johns comes to Ann, but Ann's going to get driven back. The Firehawks not really making any good meters here. As we see, Johnson gets that, and he takes a bit of a run. Comes out to Hodgie, comes out to Monroe Johns again. Lopez is just going to drive forward. They're not really going to get to their strike players either, the Firehawks here.
No, it looks like they have come out a little bit gassed from the halftime break. Or they really weren't expecting the Stingrays to be putting up the defensive effort that they have been. So the Stingrays, I reckon they are on top of things right now, and they just need to convert this momentum into points.
Yeah, the Lions, it's a bit of a game of fatigue sometimes. A lot of players, fresh careers, they don't have that stamina. I couldn't even think just then. So yeah, tired players, the players get tired quite quickly compared to the SRL counterparts. So you can capitalize when you got some really tired players on the field. As Hugh Man goes for another 40-20 kick. It's gonna go deep, but it's not going to come to the angle that they needed. As we see, Coward gets tackled there. How's the conditions down on the sideline with the crowd at the moment?
Yeah, there's a bit of life left in the crowd here. They obviously they were booing before. They weren't happy with the touch judge on the far side, who I believe is Daniel Hellier, ex-Firehawks mentors. They believe that the Stingrays were robbed of a 40-20 with that kick, which we're still trying to figure out what happened with that kick.
As we see, Lopez kicks this one out on the full, so this one has definitely gone out on the full, and this is going to give the Stingrays the best opportunity to get some more points on the board.
I mean, if you look at this, I think it even hits one of the cheerleaders. So someone must have been rejected a bit earlier in the game, because that someone needs to go down and make sure that young lady is okay.
Yeah, the cheerleader being one of the South Island cheerleaders, maybe doesn't like a Cairns boy, but what can we do?
That's your second. Hill.
As we see, Tyson will jump in the dummy half and play that to Diab. Diab comes out to Tyre. Tyre, usually playing the dummy half, takes a run. Magic comes out to Anderson. Anderson's going to take a run. Anderson's been really strong in this game despite the scoreboard. Comes out to Godwin. Godwin is going to shank that onto the chest, but it has been knocked on.
Oh, he had the right idea there, and unfortunately, all Gamer had to do there was regather the ball before it hit the ground, and he would have been over for a try. So it is what it is, unfortunately, and the Stingrays, they've got, 16 minutes left to see what they can do to salvage this game.
Yeah, all Gamer had to do was have his hands up for that one. Rookie mistake. Always have your hands up ready for the ball. Coming out to Lopez. Lopez comes to Johnson. Johnson gets tackled. The crowd would have been cheering for that one, though, wouldn't they? As we just see that go forward. So that fatigue really playing into the areas. Yeah, I feel like the crowd would have gone went mental if Gamer went over to send. But if we see Anderson, as I was saying before, he's had one hell of a game despite the scoreboard, make a really good run there. Comes out the man. Man will take this to take the tackle. Tyre comes out the Diab. Diab, but it passes it to Williams. But you'd think Diab running there might have got him a try. Comes out to Anderson. Anderson's going to score a try of all the players on the field. He definitely deserved one.
And some good positioning there too. It's going to be a pressure point here, though, because the conversion here will decide whether they can level it with one more or whether they need 2 more tries to get the lead here. So big pressure point here on James Godwin right now.
Yeah, he's got a perfect kick record tonight, but we don't want to jinx him. We might have already have. Nah, anything we say in the box is not going to jinx this bloke. He's going to kick him every day of the week. So Stingrays need one to tie this game up. And it's definitely been an interesting second half so far. The Firehawks, they are yet to score in their second half. They scored all their points in the first half, and the Stingrays, it's been a 12-point turnaround.
Yeah, it just goes to show the SRL, or the SRL Mines, as it were, is a very, very fickle mistress. And, you know, you think you're on top and you think you're winning, and a really good swing of momentum is enough to throw the ball back in the other person's court.
Yeah, and how was the crowd feeling after that one? They're back into this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Seems to be getting a bit too excited. We're having some kind of technical issues here. You'd kind of think of it like a Premier League kind of vibe down here on sideline. You've got the crowd singing, chanting. They feel like they're back in this game, and they absolutely are. More runs like this from Luka Magic. They're wanting their main man, though, Coda Diab, to take some more runs. He seems to be playing a bit of a selfless game this time around, but that's not what they're wanting from him. They're wanting him to run the ball. Not like Pancake.
Yes. From what we understand, he had one hell of a man of the match sort of like performance in the first game, and he's sort of been a passenger in this one. Oh, as we just said, that he's just taken the intercept there and given his team the chance. So maybe he's taken that personally, that I've called him a passenger, and we'll see if they can make something from this. Comes out to man comes out to Remy. Remy's going to get the offload to Anderson. Anderson's going to drive forward. So third tackle, they've got the best opportunity here to put another try on the board and tie this game up. We do have limited golden point time that can end in a draw, but one of these teams, they want to win. Goblin puts in the bomb. Not sure if it was the correct type of kick, but Winchester is there to take that cleanly.
Yeah, it was just about 2 or 3 meters off, I reckon, but none of the Stingrays boys really tried to jump up for it. Winchester really picking it up unopposed.
Yeah, you've got to if you're going to put a bomb like that up, you've got to make sure you've got kick chasers, and that's something that the Stingrays will learn as they play more and more games together. You see McBob take the tackle there. Lopez, he's going to go for the 40-20. Probably not really needed at this point because he's just shanked it, and it's now given the Stingrays the best opportunity again, another opportunity, I should say, to tie this game. Lopez, he might have just been better off passing it or taking the tackle himself there.
And you'd never guess it. It was Diab again who picked up the Falcon almost, the kick that's put his team back within scoring position.
So yeah, Diab definitely making sure that he's not a passenger in these final moments. But again, another pass, but he needs to run this ball, I believe. As we said, the grubber go in. Anderson's going to get there, but he's going to get driven over but turned on his back. So the grubber kick was the right idea. It didn't go too far, though, so it didn't really give the kick chasers a chance to really do anything with it.
And it almost looked like the kick chasers overran the kick and then had to double back and pick it up. So again, like you said, the right idea. It's just execution at this back end of the game that fatigue has set in, and thoughts are getting a bit sloppy out there.
And again, yeah, back into the game, that could be a fatigue factor. It is very common with these Mines games, is they're only all new sort of players. So again, making their way in the SRL Mines. As we said, Lopez goes to McBob. McBob's going to bump off one, but he's going to get past, but he offloads to. Again, I think Diab again making the tackle that gives these side the possession again. So we see Anderson take the tackle there. So they've got to go almost 80 meters to score with only 2 minutes left on the clock. PC Gamer goes to Magic. Magic's going to get taken in the tackle there.
He's held there.
It's going to go to Williams. Williams is going to go out to Tyson. Tyson's going to get driven back.
Clock in.
Probably wasn't the way to go. You'd probably think that maybe the half should have probably tried to push for a 40-20 there. As Godwin just puts a shallow kick in, and Coward's going to pick that up. With 40 seconds left on the clock, they just need to hold the ball, take the tackle, whatever works. Just don't cough up possession. Buckley takes the tackle there. Comes out the end, and will find the hole, and he's just going to run for it. He knows that he can just take this tackle. And that's the end of the game, guys. Folks, we at Forsyth Bar Stadium, the South Island Stingrays will go down to the Cairns Firehawks 24-18 here after a very strong second half from the Stingrays to fall short. Would you like to go over the stats, Amac?
Yeah, as you can see, the Firehawks 24-6 at half time, 24-18 at full time. So whilst they might have won the game, they definitely did not win the second half, and that might be something that the captains will want to be going back to before they do their next team. They're scrolling down with the completions. By the end of it, they're roughly about the same completions. Errors a couple more errors there from the Firehawks. Tackles about the same, missed tackles about the same, line breaks about the same. It just shows you how real close this game turned out to be in that, well, it was only a game of inches really at the end that ended up with the Firehawks winning it. If we can go on to the individual stats.
Yeah, as I was saying, Jack Anderson, man of the match performance, in my opinion. 206 run meters, 9 tackles, 6 line breaks, scored a try. Absolutely destroyed his competition despite the scoreboard. What did you think?
Yeah, if you look down through that list, by far and away, if you've got your forward running those meters way before your back line, it either shows how great your forward is or how limited your back line was able to run. Big props to Hugh Mann there. 5 kicks for 213 meters. That's some really good kicking out there from a Mines half. And if you look at the tackle column, Junior Tyre, 22 tackles. Jackson Remy, 20 tackles. Some good defense out there from the Stingrays, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, that is a good reason why the Firehawks was kept scoreless in the second half, and the Stingrays have had their chance to come back in this game. As we move over to the Firehawks. So on the Stingrays, you see that you've got Jack Anderson, a forward, running for over 200 meters. The Cairns Firehawks fullback, Harrison Coward, running over 200 meters. Bit of a whole difference between your backs and your forwards.
Yeah, again, in this case, it was definitely the backs here who are working here for the Firehawks. The forwards, they're doing a good job there. You've got Whitaker, you've got Strat, you've got McBolbor working at 100 plus run meters. But yeah, it's definitely the back line here for the Firehawks that were on fire tonight.
That's correct, and that is all that it's going to be from us tonight here at Forsyth Bar Stadium. Thank you, and good night.